This is a darn good film. Heck, even my brother Oliver said this was his favorite Marvel movie of all time. At least so far. The performances are great, the action is jaw-dropping, and I enjoy the story. But, of course, the film does not have its flaws. Does not come without its flaws. So today, ladies and gentlemen, I will be reviewing the new film Black Panther 2018. I had the privilege to see this movie yesterday. It was a Friday. I saw it with my brother Oliver, Elliot, and my grandmother, Oma Gritty. We had a great time. We saw this at the Orange Park Theater in the Dolby Theater, which was a bigger screen, better, noise quality, and it sounded awesome. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful, beautiful screen. I could see everything in the movie. And this movie is about Black Panther, this African tribe who years ago discovered kind of this alien artifact that helped them create this futuristic world and these futuristic things. It's really, really cool, even if it is a little bit far-fetched in a couple scenes. I'll tell you in a couple minutes the flaws. I really enjoy these African-American actors. They're very, very gripping and awesome in this movie. I'm so tired of watching white people in every single film. It's so unique and fresh watching these African-American people talking to each other, having tribal ceremonies, stuff like that, these religious ceremonies that they have in Africa. I enjoy the action scenes. Andy Serkis is fantastic in this movie. He plays a great villain. He reprises his role from Captain America Winter Soldier, I believe. No, or was it the Avengers Age of Ultron? I can't remember, but he's in one of those movies. He does a fantastic job in this movie. He is off the walls, crazy. I love the main actor. He's great, who plays Black Panther. He's this soft man who really is just trying to rise up and be the king that everyone knows him to be. He's the hero. He's awesome. His sister can be a little bit annoying, but I think she's pretty cool. Even though she's a little bit unrealistic, she's kind of a white woman trapped in a black woman's body. She's all, tech savvy. She's always like, oh, this is cool. This is cool. Oh, look at me. This is cool. I have stuff everywhere. I have jewels. I have gadgets. Blah, blah, blah. I want to do this. Blah, blah. Yeah. So she was wild, likable, a little bit annoying, but it was fine. The guy from Get Out is forgettable in this film. I forgot his name. The black guy from Get Out. He's forgettable. He does a decent job, I guess. He's just there. So I enjoy the look of the film. I enjoyed the music. The score in this movie is gorgeous. And I love the story. Black Panther, he rises up at first. He has to accept his father's death. His father died in Captain America's Civil War, and now he has to accept it and talk to his father in the spirit world and discover how he must become a king and lead these people in Africa, lead his country, lead his family to, victory, to, a promised land. And I thought that was interesting. It really was. I enjoyed Danaya Guerrera, who plays Michonne in The Walking Dead. She was fantastic in this movie. It was really, really cool watching her on the big screen. I've never seen her in a big live-action film before. This basically confirms that she may be hitting the bucket in the second half of The Walking Dead. But anyways, let's get on to the things I don't like. Number one has to be after Andy Serkis dies. We get introduced to Black Panther's cousin. And he's really not in much of the first half of the film or half of the second half of the film. He's just, after Andy Serkis dies, he comes out of nowhere and he's all coming up, he's all ghetto, and he goes to Africa. He's like, this is my throne now. I'm gonna do this. You killed my father. It didn't really click with me. I don't like this character. I didn't really connect with this character. He was a bad actor in the movie. He was really good in those other films like the new Rocky film, stuff like that. But wow, he was okay in this movie. He was just a one-dimensional, loud mouth punk. Even his score was kind of ghetto. He had that rap music for the score. He's just this one-dimensional ghetto person until the end when he, spoiler alert, dies. He shares a heartfelt moment with the main character. I thought that was a really good scene that he was in, but the rest was just him coming back and reclaiming the throne. And a lot of that scene where he comes back into the city to become king and challenges our main hero and pushes him off, and then they have to go talk to some other king and get their help. It's very laggy in this area of the movie. It's just a little bit lagging behind, and it needs to start getting forward. And this scene, this part of the movie, I was just completely taken out of. The rest of the movie was really, really good. But let's talk about the end of the third act. The end of the third act, while goofy with the rhinos, was really, really cool. We have Black Panther fighting his cousin in the other Panther suit. They're fighting. It's really, really cool. I enjoyed the big battle going on. Another flaw has to be Martin Freeman. He's great in this movie. I think that's his name. He played Bilbo in The Hobbit. His American accent is atrocious in this movie. You can hear his British accent slip almost every single time. He was fun to watch, though, even though they didn't give him a lot to do. I hope he comes back in one of the newer, another Marvel film in the future. I think he was really interesting, and I want to see more from him. Another thing I dislike has to be the CGI. The CGI is very, very poor in this movie. I don't know if they wasted all of the CGI on the new Avengers movie, but the CGI reminds me of the Star Wars prequels in this film. When our main character in the beginning is challenged to fight this other guy who wants to take the throne, you see all these people cheering on the rocks. The rocks look so poorly animated, and the people just don't look like they're really there. The Panther suit as well looks awful. It looks flaky. It looks like Play-Doh when it runs around and jumps around. None of it looks practical. I just don't know. And the ships that you see are very, very poorly CGI'd in the movie. Now, that's just my personal opinion. Maybe other people have other opinions, but I thought the CGI was pretty poor in this movie. And I was very shocked to see that, because in a lot of Marvel movies, the CGI is top-notch. In this movie, it was hit or miss. Some scenes it's pretty alright. Other scenes it's pretty poor. I think they wasted all of their money on the new Avengers movie, and they didn't waste their money on this movie. Another thing I dislike has to be in the end when they're talking about rebuilding their city. You can't let this bad guy, his cousin, come in and destroy their country. But when the war goes on, the Black Panther and Michonne's characters, they all want to come back and fight. They kill a lot of the men. They kill a lot of the tribe members in the tribe. And I'm like, oh my God, you're slaughtering your own people. And I really disliked this part because they're trying to rebuild this country, but they're killing all of their men. They're no better than anyone else. It would have been better if they actually chained them up. They have so much technology that they could have chained them up to the ground and bingo, problem solved. Killing them was a little bit too much. Like, what is going to happen next? The city has lost a lot of their men now. Yeah, they're traitors, but Jesus Christ, it's a little bit dark, don't you think? And they didn't even think twice. They just started killing them. It was dark. It really was. And that was a little flaw I had. Another flaw has to be the whole technology thing in Africa. Now, I think the African-American people will really like this more, this idea of there being technology in Africa. But for me, a white person, I'm not racist or anything, a white person, it felt a little bit cartoony where we have all of this technology in Africa. Africa is this poor continent, and they have this beautiful city, and you see all these African Americans with this beautiful clothing on, and they have these powerful artifacts, these jaw-dropping technology. I'm like, wow. It's really cool, but sometimes gets a little bit far-fetched, in my opinion. The rest of the movie is amazing. I enjoyed the story where it starts out in the 90s. You see all that. It's beautifully shot. I enjoyed the music. I enjoyed the performances. This is one of Marvel's best movies. It does have a couple flaws. Not big game-changing flaws, just a couple. The middle of the third act, maybe the late second act, dragged a little bit after Andy Serkis died. It dragged a tiny bit, and that's probably the weakest part of the film. But then the final battle really picked it up. and I enjoyed it. I thought Black Panther was amazing. I loved it. I will probably see it again when it comes out on Blu-ray or Redbox or Netflix, blah, blah, blah. It will probably come out on Netflix. I thought it was a darn good film. It's probably one of Marvel's best films so far. The audience gave it like a 71, and that's because of what I was probably talking about, you know, and it doesn't really connect as much with white people. I heard that the black people really enjoy this movie. And, you know, we got Tony Stark. You know, he's white, and in New York we have all of this futuristic stuff. Now, the black people have futuristic stuff too in Africa, but it just doesn't work as much in my opinion. But it, nevertheless, is a great, beautifully shot, well-acted film with amazing action, amazing direction most of the time. I rate this film an A-. I thought this was a great film. It was fantastic, beautiful. What do you think of Black Panther, this Marvel movie? I loved it, and I'll probably see it again. Hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like, comment down below. And tomorrow night is my review of The Walking Dead Season 8, Episode 9. Oh, that is going to be so much fun to bash this episode. It is going to be atrocious. I don't think the episode is going to be good. I'm just telling you that now. If I'm wrong, I will apologize in the review, but I'm telling you right now, I'm 99.9 sure the episode will flop, and I cannot wait to review it for my fans. Hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like, comment down below, subscribe, do whatever the heck you want to do. Bye, everyone.